Know that we have many ways of watching if a stock on a fundamental basis or on a technical basis or on market conditions, whatever. When you do your research on why you should put your money into a stock, you look at many things, all right? And technicals are also are very well so a way of actually looking at what, based on these technical indicators, based on the data per se, all right, literally based on the data, what can we expect once we've seen some type of indicators of signals, indicating maybe a reversal, maybe a bearish trend, maybe an upward trend, maybe a bullish trend, so that's why we need to have an open-minded, not only to be focused on one side of the other, because all of those speak pretty much the same language and tell the same story. So that's why I'm bringing up to you in this video something I want to share, which I believe when you look at the technical side of things in AMC, even though you are not a technical person, which I don't think I am, I'm much more of a fundamental side of things, but I learned how to stay open over the course of, my trading journey and investing journey. So when you look at AMC on the technical, we have a reversal signal that just popped since the last 8 months. And if you look at where we were in the last 8 months, it was what? June or July? Anyway, it was around those, time frame where AMC was really at the top, when it comes to the share price. All right. So, again, you don't have to be technical, because I'm going to try to break it down in simple, plain English for every one of us. All right. So this is the price chart. And you know that, you can see that, based on where we were at the top of 72, this is where we are currently sitting. All right. So this is the price. And then we have a bunch of indicators here. This will be the RSI, the relative strength index. All right. That we know once it's below 30, it means, we have a strong chance of it reversing. And once it's already back above 70, there might be also chances that it will come down. So look, when the price was trading at 72, the RSI, the relative strength index, was above this 70, all right? And then it came back down, and then since then it's been down. But now it's showing signs of, going back up again. And this is on a weekly, all right? Because when you look at the chart, you have time frames. You can look at the 5 minutes, the 30 minutes, the 4 days, the 1 day, the 5 days, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly, etc., etc. But the bigger you want to see at what may come in the short term, the bigger the time frame, the better it is. So that's why, we're looking at the weekly here. Now, when you look at the MACD is, also the MACD. It's a moving average on the conversions divergence, all right? It's pretty much an indicator, that will signal whether we have a reversal coming based on the last 13 to 26 candles, on the chart, based on the time frame you're looking at. So for the first time in 8 months, we have this red piece here. That just turned green. You can see it was green since January of 2021. And then it was very, very high when the share price was at 72, which is also the highest. But as the price was dropping down slowly and gradually to where we are now, it is now showing a signs of, no, it's no more in the red. Now it's turning into the green. Meaning, if we look at what the last times this was green, actually, the share price of AMC was above a certain level, So given this is the first time in 8 months it kind of matches a little bit the story on the other side of the analysis, which I call the fundamentals. Meaning, when you look at the market conditions, when you look at, the share, the company earnings, when you look at people buying and holding, or people selling, when you look at what the short sellers as companies are also being hit with the market doing what the market is doing. So pretty much this kind of lines up a little bit with the fact that, hey, one, hedge funds are already also losing a ton of money. Think about Melvin Capital, think about Tiger Global, think about even Citadel, which, even though I wouldn't include them in the list now, think about all of these short sellers who said, you know what, we're not going to short sell anymore. We're going to turn into bullish. Think about what the market is expecting to behave, in terms of what the Federal Reserve is going to do. Money being a lot more expensive, liquidity drying up, brokerage firms restricting short selling AMC, GameStop, etc., etc. When you tie that up with, conflict in Russia and Ukraine and the consequences it might have with recession and everything, and you look at these technical indicator, it kind of makes sense because everything lines up, right? And that's why I said earlier, we need to have this comprehensive view and stay open-minded even without understanding what technical analysis is in a deeper dive. So that is just to say that we might see something coming up out of this in the near future, because if we still continue to see this candle on the moving average on the convergence divergence being stronger and stronger and going higher and higher, well, it will mean that the cooking pressure that has been building up for these last 8 months is now time to actually do a little bit of, or a lot of destruction when it comes to the short selling side of things. Maybe it's going to come from the regulations. Maybe it's going to come from a black swan event. Maybe it's going to come from something totally unpredicted. But if this if this persists, in the next coming days and remains as bullish as it is right now, man, I will not be surprised if we reach $50 a piece, maybe higher. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there just to tell you that, hey, this thing is still very much alive and we just need to be patient. That's it, folks.